So today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest, a man that has a lot to talk about when it comes to the environment, when it comes to nature. Today with me I have
Alexander Trajce from Protection and Preservation of Natural Environment in Albania, PPNEA, BirdLife Albania.
That's right. Now, as we're talking about wildlife, how is this impacting nature as a whole?
We are talking about one of the most important ecosystems that we have in the country. It's the second most important lagoon in Albania, with a myriad of wildlife, with more than 220 bird species that have been recorded on site. So it's 2/3 of all Albanian bird fauna that is present in just a very small area, which is the Lagoon of Narta. We're talking about one of the last nesting sites of Loggerhead turtles. Again, threatened species on the global level, that it's very rare to have beaches so suitable that they can lay their eggs. And it's exactly those very beaches that the bulldozers went through, and they started flattening out the dunes, they started opening up new roads, they started fencing the area, and all the works that we have seen in the images of the past days. The area is recognized also internationally. It's considered an important bird area. It's considered a key biodiversity area, and it's also one of the sites that Albania needs to protect as part of its accession process to the European Union. So Albania has committed, as part of the negotiations, to protect that area for its natural resources for the generations to come. What we are seeing there is the destruction and the complete alteration of the entire ecosystem. The whole strip of land that divides the lagoon from the sea is going to be converted from an almost natural area, which is at the moment, into a completely artificial landscape, if the renders that have been made public are actually materialized on the ground. Of course, this made a lot of people unhappy. This made a lot of people become angry very quickly, because what they saw was a very brutal intervention of bulldozers on the ground, without any documentation, without any transparency, without any permit being available there, without anybody knowing what was going on. Just one day, they woke up in the morning and they saw bulldozers just tearing trees down, flattening dunes, and destroying the entire ecosystem. This had been boiling for quite a while in Albania, because many other protected areas were suffering in the same fashion. There is the Buna Velipoja protected landscape, where again a very similar resort is being developed in such intransparent way. There is the plans for Divjaka Karavasta National Park. There is resorts in Butrint National Park that have happened. So all over the country, people were witnessing more and more the appropriation of natural resources for the benefit of very few rich people, basically, without any visible profit to them or to the improvement of their livelihoods. So, of course, the protest initially started as a major environmental and land-grabbing concern, but now it has transformed into a massive social movement that basically the people are asking more accountable government, more transparent government. They are asking for their voices to be heard, for their natural heritage not to be destroyed, and for them to have better lives. I mean, imagine, we have a prime minister that for 10 days is defending so strongly the rights of a private investment, which at the end of the day, it's a private investment. You know, you can have many private investments in the country. We haven't heard the prime minister in these last days talk anything about healthcare. We haven't heard him talk anything about education, about public infrastructure, about the needs of the disadvantaged. So we haven't heard him to talk about his job. You know, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to worry about the public investment. He's supposed to worry about the people. But all we hear is how amazing this project is going to be, how this is going to transform Albania, which is a narrative that the people of Albania are not buying anymore, because they've witnessed over and over that such a narrative is only making them with less access to the land. It's only making them with less access to the natural resources, and it's, at the end of the day, it's making them poorer and poorer, so that more young people are leaving and that less opportunities are left in this country.
Hundreds of thousands of people are watching this message, and you mentioned that some of these contracts, maybe documents, have been altered, and they went straight just to the deal, didn't really consider the Albanian people, realizing this is a treasure for our children to keep on for the rest of our lives. What people need to get involved so that we can start looking at these documents, we can start looking at these contracts, and as you mentioned, bring transparency to the Albanians to see if any of this has been altered to the point where it's illegal?
I mean, we haven't seen anything. Just the fact that the work started without any publicly available document, it's an illegality in itself, you know. So we haven't seen anything. We had the Prime Minister who initially said, okay, there is one development permit, but nobody had seen the development permit. So he was justifying the works happening according to that development permit. Then later on he changed the narrative. He said, no, there is no plan, there is no permit, there is no project, there is only the idea of something. But then how do you explain the works on the ground? If you have no project, then what the hell is happening there? Why are the bulldozers tearing down trees? Why are they destroying the nesting grounds of the turtles? Why are they destroying the habitats of the flamingos? You know, it makes no sense. So it's very clear that there was a complete lack of transparency, complete lack of rule of law. It was just a brutal intervention by force with bulldozers and heavy machinery in a way that they can do this as fast as possible before actually anyone can notice and can start doing something.
Now that they've been seen at work and they've been seen not really caring what the Albanian people have to say or how they feel, people are aware and they are watching. What professional can come into this play, this battlefield, and help us with this situation?
Look, it's not very difficult. If you want to do things right, you just need to listen to what the people say. You just need to listen to what the experts have to say, reliable experts with integrity have to say, and you need to do a lot of public consultation and be very transparent and honest with your people. Of course, with very good territorial planning, with very good laws that are in place, with very good division of the territory, where you have protected areas on one hand, where you have development areas on the other hand. Of course, you can come to a situation where you can have a very good balance, where you also protect the natural environment within protected areas, but also you can build the resorts of any scale and of any fashion outside of protected areas. Let's be clear, protected areas are protected primarily for preserving the natural heritage and for preserving the biodiversity. Anything that can be developed there has to be hand in hand with protecting that natural heritage and that biodiversity. You can have ecotourism for sure, you can have agro-tourism, you can have family-based tourism, you can have very extensive, low-impact forms of tourism, but you cannot have huge resorts. You cannot have exclusive land for the very rich. Those are very intensive forms of using the landscape that are completely incompatible with protected areas.
From your personal point of view, would you say that this development taking place right now could be considered illegal?
In our view, it's clearly illegal. And the statements of the Prime Minister clearly prove that. Because at the beginning he said there is a development permit. Later on he backtracked that there is no permit, but the facts are on the ground. The works happen there. You have the road that is open, you have the fence that was built and then taken away, but the concrete is still there. You have the flattened dunes where they were probably trying to build the camps, the future camps where the workers would stay. So all of this is there. If you go there, you have a bridge. You have also a bridge on the main canal that connects the lagoon with the sea. It's a concrete bridge, so it's a permanent bridge that is present there. So the facts are there. And given that the facts are there and the Prime Minister is saying that there is no project, automatically it makes everything that happened so far there illegal. And those people who did it need to be held accountable. Those people who are supposed to stop it need to be held accountable.
You guys heard it first here. Now what we really need and what we are seeking is justice. Yes. That's all we want is justice. Now, if anyone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way they can reach out to you?
Well, you can follow our Instagram page, PPNEA. You can follow our social media page, Facebook, YouTube, and also on our webpage, ppnea.org. You have all our contacts there, and there is a lot of information about this case in there too.
Beautiful, guys. Canary Capital Productions, we are out. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother.
Cheers.